Unmute it now.
Yeah.
I'm getting very angry now, man.
Hey, Ian, you're still on. We can still hear you. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry.
Okay. Just wanted to let you know. Hi, Rainey. Good to see you, buddy. Robbie is here. He'll be joining us shortly.
Okay, testing. Am I on? Okay, good. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the last class in the Discovering Buddhism module, uh, Generating Bodhichitta. So tonight's our last class in this, and what I wanted to do tonight is do two fairly lengthy meditations, one each on each of the two ways that the Buddha, two of multiple ways that the Buddha taught us that we can develop bodhicitta. The first being referred to as the seven causes and one effect, and the second being Tonglen. We've talked about both of those. So we'll do a meditation on each one, and people may get a feeling that one of them appeals to them more or works better for yourself. There's no need to practice both of them. There's no need to practice either of them, actually. If you have other methods of generating bodhicitta, that's fine. So we'll begin, and then I'll talk a little bit about some of the advantages of developing bodhicitta, how it has a beneficial effect for ourselves. And that will be the end of the class. So let's start with our prayers in the prayer book. You can open those to page 34. That's the red sticker. And we'll read taking refuge and generating bodhicitta together 3 times in English. And then the 4 immeasurables. We'll read that 1 time in English. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Okay, so now we'll do our first meditation. And like I said, this will be about 20 minutes, okay? If you get to some point where you absolutely have to wiggle or reposition yourself during the meditation, that's fine. But that's why it helps to check your posture at the beginning and get really settled and solid in your posture so that it doesn't become a recurring concern throughout the meditation. So if you're sitting on a cushion, you sit on the front third of the cushion. If you're sitting on a chair, you're sitting straight, not leaning back in the chair. Your back is a little straighter than you normally sit. Your head just a couple degrees in front of the vertical, not tilted to one side or the other. Eyes either lightly closed or just slightly open, letting in a little light. Jaw lightly closed, with your tongue against the hard palate behind your upper teeth. Shoulders down and back a little bit so our chest is open. Upper arms away from our torso. Right hand on left with thumbs touching. If we're on a cushion, our legs are crossed in a position that we find comfortable and non-distracting. If we're sitting in a chair, our feet are flat on the floor. And if we want a cushion underneath them, that's fine. So check your posture from the top of your head all the way down. You want a real sense of solidness, that you're really rooted on the chair, the cushion. And the posture is, once established, maintains itself. It's not something you need to continually pay attention to. So identify any sources of discomfort or tension now and address those, wiggle around and take care of them. And we begin by taking 3 deep breaths from the stomach expanding on the in-breath, contracting on the out-breath. Just 3 times, nice and slowly. And we Allow our breathing to return to its normal pattern. And we establish our motivation for the meditation to follow. That we're doing this meditation to change our mind in such a way that it is beneficial to all living beings. That I'm doing this meditation for the bodhicitta motivation, so that I can make progress on my path to enlightenment to be of benefit to all. And having set our motivation, we'll now do some concentration meditation, placing the mind on the physical sensation of the air moving in and out through our nostrils. Just placed on that, not forcing it, but just solidly placing our concentration there. If our concentration wanders, we bring it back over and over. So now we're going to begin the meditation on what's referred to as the 7 causes and 1 effect. It's an analytic meditation. We bring our concentrated, focused mind to the analysis of the points that the Buddha has outlined for us. And to really make this meditation effective, we have to start with the sense that all sentient beings, all living beings, are equally worthy of happiness, equally want to be happy, and equally have the potential for complete Buddhahood. That these categories of people I like, people I don't like, and people that I don't care about, these are projections coming from my self-centered mind. They don't exist inherently in others. but that's what my mind projects onto them. But the important thing is to see how alike they are, how equally worthy of being happy, and how equally possible true enlightenment is for each one of them. And now we begin the analysis by thinking that accepting the possibility of countless previous lifetimes, I have been in the relationship of child to mother with every living being. That doesn't mean they were like my mother of this lifetime with her strong points and her weaknesses, but I've been in that close a relationship with every single being without exception. Mother and child, that close with everyone, no exceptions. And the next point is that accepting that I've been that close with every living being, that means that every living being has been kind to me at some point, has shown me that the kindness that a mother shows to its child. And we can set aside whatever issues we have with our mother of this lifetime. But if she was kind to us, we can remember those kindnesses. Or we can think of the kindnesses we've seen in mothers and children. She's carried us in our womb, given birth to us, fed us, clothed us, protected us, taught us. Infinite examples, both great and small, of how every sentient being has been kind to me. And remembering how every sentient being has been so kind to us, the wish spontaneously arises to show gratitude, to repay that kindness, to give back, not just to our mother of this lifetime, but to every single sentient being who has been in that relationship with us in the past. We show gratitude to every sentient being without exception. Maybe we have problems with them in this lifetime, but even those people we find difficult have at some point in the past been kind to us. And we're grateful for that and want to give back. And out of this gratitude comes a feeling of love towards every sentient being. Love being the wish that they be happy, that they have every possible type of happiness. We wish that so much for everyone, for every being, not just those we're close to in this lifetime, not just those we like, but every sentient being throughout the universe. We want them to be happy. And that's love, that feeling that arises from gratitude. They have been kind to us, and we want them in return to be happy. And not only do we feel love for all sentient beings, we feel compassion. We wish that they would not experience any type of suffering, difficult situations, loss, emotional stress, financial problems, sickness and disease. We wish that every sentient being, everyone, would be free of all types of suffering. Out of the gratitude we feel towards them, we aspire, we wish that they would not have any type of suffering in their life. We feel compassion, not pity, but compassion, the wish that they be free of suffering for all sentient beings without exception. And our wish that others be happy, that others be free of suffering, all others, is so strong, so powerful, that we think, I will take personal responsibility for that. It seems incredibly grandiose, but it's not based on a concept of self or self-importance, but out of gratitude and service to others. The attitude that I will take personal responsibility for giving you happiness and freeing you from suffering. I can't tolerate it that you have problems in your life. I have to do something about that. I have to prevent that from happening. And finally, if I'm honest with myself, I understand that the only way I can really help others has to begin with developing my mind. By developing its qualities of wisdom, that is, seeing reality as it is, seeing situations for what they really are, free of projections, by developing my compassion, the wish that others be free of suffering, by removing all obstacles and delusions from my mind stream and completely developing it to the state of the enlightened mind of a Buddha. That is how I can repay the kindness of others, by developing my mind, by becoming enlightened, not just for the benefit of myself or of the people I like, but for all living beings. That is the only way I can help others. So just stay with that aspiration for a moment. And you can end the meditation by doing a brief dedication. Acknowledge that you've done something positive by thinking in this way, and your mind is changed in just a little bit in a way that it will be of benefit to others. And you may relax your concentration. Okay, I think we have some serious meditators in here. Everybody, you can welcome to wiggle around, stand up before we do our second meditation. Any questions or comments, either from someone here in the Gampa or anybody at home?
Anyone online, just unmute.
Okay. Everybody seems rather quiet this evening. That's fine. Okay, now we'll do round two. I got to stretch a little bit. I almost got a cramp there. Any comments, questions? Okay. Back to work. Break is over. So we'll do our second meditation on developing compassion. This is a Tonglen meditation. Everybody seemed pretty comfortable with their posture. I didn't hear a lot of wiggling or anything when my concentration was wandering around the room. That's good. So reestablish your posture. Just shake out anything that needs to be wiggled or stretched. Three deep breaths from the abdomen. Now allow your breathing to return to its normal pattern. And set the bodhicitta motivation for the meditation to follow. And now some concentration with the mind on the breath. And now we'll begin the Tonglen meditation, which is a visualization meditation. And by visualization, we just mean imagining, nothing more than that. But I think it's good to start with a little bit of the equanimity focus on this meditation also. Seeing how all beings are much more equal than they are different. That they're not inherently forever in these categories of like, don't care. That they're all equally worthy of happiness and all equally have the potential for Buddhahood. So working with that sense of equanimity, we'll begin the actual visualization. We'll use our mind's eye to visualize somebody sitting in front of us, and pick a real person, someone you know. Don't pick the most hated person in your life necessarily, but someone that you can work with without a lot of angst as we start off. It can be someone you feel close to, someone you have problems with. Either one would be fine, but a real person in your life. And imagine them life-size, real. They're sitting in front of you on the same level as you. You can imagine them on a cushion if that helps. Three-dimensional, real, living. You can get up and walk around them. You can look at them from above or from any angle. They're about 6 to 8 feet in front of you. And just get a sense of a real person. Think who they are, what their life is like. And what difficulties they may be facing. Financial, emotional, physical. Everybody's having some problems. We're all alike in that way. And visualize that their problems, their difficulties, their sufferings take the form of dark smoke that you breathe in through your nostrils gladly, without resistance. And as it comes into your nostrils, that black smoke turns into a bolt of bright lightning that shoots down through your chest cavity to the level of your heart. And visualize that your heart is completely enclosed, surrounded, encased in dark rock. And that's our self-cherishing, our sense that I need to protect myself above all others, that taking care of myself is what life is about, that arranging things the way I want them to be is the key to happiness. And that bolt of lightning strikes that rock and shatters it. And our heart gives off brilliant golden light that we breathe out to this person in front of us. And that golden light is happiness and whatever they need. Financial resources, a happy relationship, good physical health, mental calmness, whatever. And make it specific for this person, both the sufferings that you gladly take on and the happiness that you gladly give them in return. And there's no limit to either. You can take on their suffering, the dark smoke, without limit. And you can give them happiness without limit. You don't use up your store of happiness. You have an infinite supply, in your heart. So just stay with that visualization. Dark smoke in on the in-breath, golden light on the out-breath, with this very real human person in front of us. So you might want to start with your breathing being fairly slow as you establish the visualization. And then you get a little bit more comfortable with it. And now expand your visualization. Bring someone else in, so they're sitting next to this person. Maybe someone else you feel close to. And continue to breathe in the dark smoke, the suffering of both these people, and giving back to both of them happiness in the form of golden light. And gradually bring in more people. Even some people you have problems with, or people that you don't feel close to at all. Expand the visualization so they're more and more living beings in front of you. You can even visualize yourself there. So you're breathing in the suffering of all sentient beings and giving back happiness to all sentient beings as you gradually expand the visualization. And you can end your meditation by doing a brief dedication. And you may relax your concentration. So these are two techniques for developing bodhicitta that the Buddha has given us. As always, he said, give it a try. If it works for you, great. If neither of one of them or the other speaks to you and one doesn't, that's fine. If neither of them speaks to you, that's okay too. You know, the proof is in the pudding. If you have other ways of your own of developing bodhicitta, that's fantastic. There's no requirement to do either of these meditations, but understand that developing bodhicitta is a necessary step on the path to enlightenment. Just for out of curiosity, if you were going to do a 2-week retreat and all you could do was one or the other of these meditations for 8 hours a day, how many people would choose the 7 causes and 1 effect? Okay. And how many would choose the Tonglen? So it's about equal. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty typical. So maybe you'll be in a 2-week retreat doing one or the other at some point. I just wanted to mention a few of the benefits that we experience as we work to develop bodhicitta in our mind stream. And there are lots of different lists of these. Actually, you know, there's some texts where they combine the two and they put the Tonglen in the 7 causes and 1 effect after the wish, love, and compassion. And they put Tonglen meditation in there right towards the end. So you could do both if you want to. But some of the advantages that will accrue to us as we develop bodhicitta, and there are lots of different lists of these, but this is from Venerable Thupten Chodron, who's a wonderful Buddhist nun who's been teaching the Dharma for a long time and has visited Kadampa Center on several occasions. First off, it frees us from pride and arrogance. I mean, both of these meditation techniques are based on seeing how alike we all are. We include ourselves in all of this. We don't feel that we're superior to others. We see how we all are having problems and we all wish to become enlightened in the same way. So it really undercuts any sense of self-importance that we may have. It helps us relate to people in a more direct and honest way. If we see how we all want to be happy, free of suffering, and become enlightened, it helps a very direct way of relating to people rather than based on the usually erroneous projections that we bring into our relationships. It's the best way to serve others, to help others, is to develop our powers of compassion. Our lives have a real sense of purpose. If we develop bodhicitta, we have a real conviction that we're going to become enlightened for the benefit of others. And it's never lets us down. Bodhicitta is a friend that we can always rely on. It's always there. And, sometimes we have the idea that if we become compassionate, if we wish that others are going to be free of suffering, that's going to make us sad, that's a sad feeling. And we've had several very high teachers here, lamas, who said, no, that as you develop, the more compassionate you become, actually the more happy you become. It's almost paradoxical, because the wish that others be free of suffering is a very positive wish, and it calms your mind so that you actually develop some mental stability thinking that way. It's not feeling sorrow. It's not pity for others, but it's a real wish that they be free of suffering. And they say, the more compassionate we become, the happier we are. So that's interesting. Anyway, so that's the class. Any comments or questions? Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Next class, Lisa, is...
Monday night starts Transforming Problems
Okay.
with Hemant.
And it starts this coming Monday.
This coming
Okay, no
Monday.
break, yeah. That's it.
And that'll also be 4 classes.
Okay, that's a good one. He's a wonderful teacher. And let's see, this Sunday, during the morning session, it's going to be a blessing ceremony for children and young people. So if you have any young people in your circle of friends that you'd like to bring, they're more than welcome. And then we're going to do some circumambulation and walking meditation outside. It's supposed to be like summer this weekend, so it should be really nice. So everyone's welcome to attend. Let's see, then I think there's something tomorrow night. Yeah, Geshe-la is going to be leading a meditation session here tomorrow night to end the 15 days of the Tibetan New Year celebration. And that's it. So thank you, everyone. Go out and be compassionate.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, everyone online. Yes.
Closer to being
Robbie.
bodhisattvas now. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Robbie.
And thank you to Lisa and Chris. Yes. Vital parts of this.